Ladies and gentlemen, this is done with all due respect. With all due respect and admiration for CNN and Mr. Lemon. This is absolutely fantastic. It's probably one of the great things that has ever happened in American history. Trump's campaign shares an ad with Thanos on it, or the hilarious ad, and that overshadowed the articles of impeachment to a lot of people. More people, this has elicited more emotion than the articles of impeachment. So you have Democrats like, look at our republic, and everyone's laughing. See, they don't get the joke. They don't get it. They don't get it all. We're going to listen to this from Mr. Don Lemon, a really fantastic journalist, and I have nothing but the utmost respect. And this is done with love and admiration for Mr. Lemon and CNN. And so, anyway, look, we'll listen to this, and the reaction. Number one, CNN, nobody had to cover this. This is not even newsworthy, really. But the fact that they covered it, mission accomplished. That's something that they're missing in all of this. You don't have to actually amplify and publicize exactly what President Trump wants you to do, to publicize or amplify. You don't have to do that. But anyway, listen to this. This is hilarious. This is awesome in a very, and I say this with all due respect.
Blustering at tonight's rally, Trump's war room posted a meme on Twitter today showing Trump as the supervillain Thanos from the Marvel Avengers movies, dispatching his Democratic enemies. Take a look at this.
I am inevitable.
On this solemn day, I recall that the first order of business for members of...
So the sub, it's not really the sub, well, I guess it's the subtext. On a solemn day, the shtick is that, Pelosi didn't really want to impeach Trump. It's just his actions against the country because, he was so afraid of Biden's one term that he had to ask for an investigation and withhold military assistance, even though there's no evidence that he did that. And Politico already documented Democrats reaching out to the Ukraine to get dirt on Manafort in 2017. Kenneth Vogel has done a great deal of research in Politico and the New York Times. And then you have President Zelensky, who stated there was no quid pro quo, no pressure. But this is actually hilarious. Then you have Maria Ivanovich, the impeachment witness, stating that, even President Obama's administration gave her talking points on Hunter Biden's conflicts of interest. But anyway, let's continue.
What are we, in junior high school? What the hell? What is this?
This is Trump ensuring that your reaction would be legendary.
Like what? What? I cannot believe that I'm even having to report this on the news.
And that's the issue. That's the issue. You don't have to report it. It's lucrative, so you do so. See, there's a symbiotic relationship between Trump and CNN and the media. But see, the thing is, Trump's the one that benefits the most. So he's the shark, and all the media outlets are like the little barnacles or little like those little tiny fish that like latch on to the sharks. The funny thing is, though, with Trump, the fish like latch off and then he eats them. So, see, they don't get it. You don't have to. You do not have to. You do not have to report on this. But you did exactly what President Trump wanted you to do. But anyway.
This is crazy. This is literally crazy. Are you people insane? Are you insane?
No, actually, it's The sane people are laughing. The people who perhaps are not so sane are taking it very literally. And because the outrage meter is on 11 all the time, 24/7, that's what makes this so hilarious. Yes. What makes this hilarious and funny is the fact that this is not even newsworthy. In addition to the fact that the ad itself, the meme itself, elicits these are cartoons essentially that elicit emotions that already exist within voters that say, hey, wait a second, Clinton didn't use servers for convenience. She didn't delete yoga emails. President Obama didn't drink Flint water when it was safe. He knew very well it was still poisonous. President Obama and Biden and Clinton didn't preside over saving the people of Libya. No, it was actually a failed NATO intervention that caused tremendous, tremendous havoc and chaos and mayhem. No. Madam Secretary didn't survive Bosnian sniper fire. So we can go on forever. Bernie Sanders, it wasn't fair and neutral. He was actually cheated. Actually, the words are within the DNC emails. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. The Russians didn't do that. So you have the intelligence community pumping high-confidence nonsense into the mainstream, where now people have said they live within semantic murkiness. They've confirmed, the intelligence community has confirmed they haven't been right. You tell me when they've been right, from the Bay of Pigs, Gulf of Tonkin. Didn't know that they didn't predict the fall of the Berlin Wall. Bush and Cheney and Rumsfeld's failed foreign policy. That then they say, well, it was the intelligence failures. And I mean, like, tell me when the intelligence community hasn't actively worked with administrations to deceive. The greatest example being Vietnam and Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld's foreign policies. So this notion, and then John Kasich comes out, he's like, what are we going to believe? What are we going to believe? Well, no, the truth is not what you set as the truth. The truth is not John Brennan, who says, we will, I don't do evidence, I do intelligence, but let's continue.
Go ahead. Troll the Democrats on Twitter. Do this stupid, silly, you know what?
Okay. Okay, he will.
Play this stupid, juvenile meme game. History won't record this meme, stupid crap.
Yes, it will. It will very much record all of this. Because Clinton is running again. Oh, that's another thing. The No Malarkey bus tour with one term. Yeah, that's not happening. So that's actually not happening. So that the issue is not so much like that's not happening. All right? So the notion that you are that there's a Democratic primary that isn't rigged, that's hilarious. This is why the memes work, because the treachery and the deception and the lies and the manipulation is infinitely more coming from the left than from Trump's campaign or Trump's administration. He's pretty honest. He's like, I want to do this, let's do this. The Democrats are like, He wants to scale back U.S. foreign policy. There's record low unemployment, record highs in the stock market, wages are up. This is all median income, household median income is up. I'm not making anything up. This is the truth. That is the truth. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. It's record low unemployment. Case closed. It is a fact. That is the truth. The truth also is that Paul Krugman and other economists said that he would, thrust the country and the world into a global recession. We can go on forever. The truth is that he's the first president to step foot in North Korea. This is the truth. This is the truth. Let's continue.
But history will record this, the seriousness of what is happening. That today is the day that the House of Representatives in the United States of America introduced articles of impeachment against President Donald J. Trump.
For a phone conversation where even President Zelensky himself states there was no leverage, And the only leverage in quid pro quo is seen when Biden is on video in front of the Council on Foreign Relations. This is their lives are predicated upon this notion that foreign interference will warp the impressionable minds and gullible minds of Americans. The issue here is not even John Kasich. He's you'll hear him later. What do we believe in? What do we believe in? It's like we don't believe in Brennan. We don't believe in constantly trying to paint Trump as this monster. What we do believe in is a difference of opinion, which should never be tied to a morally superior vantage point or notion, unless it's truly morally superior. It is not morally superior to, let's say, advocate interventions, which is what Democrats do. That's actually a morally inferior viewpoint. But if you want to disagree, I'm not going to try to give somebody a guilt trip. I'm just going to give my point of view. Democrats is different. Politics has become a religion to Democrats. But anyway, let's continue.
The President of the United States of America for committing high crimes and misdemeanors.
Then why hasn't the FBI or the Justice Department or anyone even thought of indicting Trump? Okay? Why haven't they said he committed an actual crime? Okay? They haven't even named a legal statute. With Bill Clinton, he committed perjury and obstruction of justice. And it wasn't like, you didn't listen to Congress. It was actual obstruction of justice. And what is I never had relations. I didn't have relations. Are you talking about international relations? No. I never had relations. I never did. Well, you did, and you lied under oath. That's a crime. That's a crime. We all know what happened in the Oval Office. That's another thing. So, this is why when when you get this kind of sappy this moralizing from Democrats, this kind of like, oh my God, aren't we better as a country? And these are the same people who think George W. Bush is now a good person. Okay? This is the type of thing when you have what's her name, Ellen, hanging out with George W. Bush, and all is forgiven. You just send what of the 2.5 million Americans, well over 1 million Americans have been injured from President Bush and from Bush and President Obama's foreign policy. Never-ending interventions and quagmires, injured in some way. Of course, we have thousands who've lost their lives, tens of thousands wounded, hundreds of thousands of traumatic brain injuries. We can go on forever with the repercussions that American soldiers have had to deal with. Okay, and God bless them. But I want Americans home with their families. I don't want Americans overseas or in regions of conflict forever. So if you want to get serious, Mr. Lemon and CNN, what's worse, President Trump scaling back U.S. foreign policy to where we don't send Americans into quagmires based on faulty intelligence, or the faulty intelligence that says that Facebook ad swung the last election, Clinton's going to lose again? And they're setting themselves up for a monumental disappointment of biblical proportions because they don't get it. Let's continue.
What I can't believe is they put out some meme here like it's...
The fact that you have John Kasich talking about a meme is exactly what Trump wanted.
Some silly cartoon thing. Not that I want to put the cartoon down, but come on now. This is...
He can't even say something without being a diplomat or a politician. He's like, it's a silly cartoon. Not that I'm bothering, trying to disparage the creators who are very wealthy.
Serious business, and we're really at the heart of it. Everybody has to ask themselves. When I think about Ronald Reagan, would Ronald Reagan have ever called up a nation that was in trouble in terms of somebody invading part of their country and say, listen, I'll help you out with some military aid, but you got to go investigate my political opponent.
He never did that. He never did that. There was never a statement that said you will not get the aid unless you investigate. It's all conjecture and innuendo and gossip and hearsay from diplomats who don't like Trump. There is not one shred of evidence that they've presented. Furthermore, the one very plausible scenario is that he was going to give the aid anyway. What do you think, that he was going to withhold the aid until the assistance until they investigated Biden because he was so afraid of Biden? Biden's only serving one term. Biden doesn't even want to run. He's not even really running. Okay, that's the reality of the situation. The reality is that Clinton was always going to be the nominee, and I've been right about that since 2017. My Huffington Post article below. Check it out. So let's continue.
I mean, that would be a fantasy movie. That just wouldn't happen. And it's
also, Reagan would not have the foreign policy of Democrats. Also, the United States of America, the intelligence agencies at that point would never have framed and set up Reagan. Although Stephen Halper was actually utilized for the Jimmy Carter's campaign. That's interesting. So Reagan actually, well, we can go on forever. But his foreign policy would be like, they would call him very much an anti-war candidate nowadays. So Trump's foreign policy is similar to Reagan. There's more similarities with Trump and Reagan than Democrats with Reagan, that's for sure. The economy being one of them.
And that's what we're facing here. And it's not just about Donald Trump, Don, as you and I have talked. It's also about future presidents and what they can do. Because, and what troubles me as much as anything is the issue of the truth.
You mean like Loretta Lynch, Attorney General Lynch meeting with Bill Clinton to speak about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren? You mean like never sending or receiving classified information, deleting yoga emails? What else? We can go on forever. Oh, a fair and neutral primary. I mean, these are things I touched on at the beginning of this segment. Bernie Sanders was never cheated. Well, how many votes were altered? Well, how many votes were altered from Russia? How many votes did Russia alter? How about a zero? The only thing that, not only was Bernie cheated, the information leading that proved that he was cheated is considered cheating by Democrats. So tell us more about the post-truth era in politics. Then let's continue here.
You and I have had a lot of good back and forth about Ohio State and LSU. I say Ohio State's number one. You say, no, they're not. I say, yes, they are. You say, well, I have the facts. I say, well, you got your facts, I got my facts. I mean, that's what's so amazing about this. The truth about things in America today, the truth is, it just depends on people's point of view.
No, the truth that Democrats and Kasich and Republicans and establishment Republicans believe is truth is what John Brennan tells everybody. John Brennan literally stated, I don't do evidence, I do intelligence. The ODNI and DHS reports literally have warranty disclaimers that state categorically, this is based on high confidence, not certainty. You have 17 inaccuracies within 3 applications that were deliberate. And then they say, well, then they talk about truth, and you know what? I'll just give you a summary of everything. So they talk about truth, and then Don Lemon says, oh yeah, you know what? This completely obliterates Trump's view of the FBI. No, it doesn't. It bolsters. They found no documentary or testimonial evidence, according to Horowitz. Durham literally states, based on the evidence we've discovered, we disagree with Horowitz and the IG report. So you don't go ahead and turn America's intelligence community against an incoming president because of the notion that Russia hacked the DNC. The DNC is a private entity. The DNC could have sued, and they did, Russia or whatever. The DNC is a private entity. It is not a government agency. And furthermore, let's talk about truth. Why would the Russians hack the DNC but not Clinton's servers? So let's say the Russians hacked the DNC. You think they would stop there? You think Putin's like, oh, top secret intelligence? No, why would I want top secret intelligence? No. I will stop short of top secret intelligence. Only Deborah Wasserman. That's what I'm really after. Deborah Wasserman. No. So, I mean, you want to talk truth? Let's talk truth. President Obama was saying to Dmitry Medvedev, he was saying on the hot mic, oh, I'll have greater leeway when I win. Oh, was that what kind of pact was that? The President Obama came in with a Russian reset. He told Mitt Romney, the 80s want your foreign policy back. The 80s want their foreign policy back. Cash flowed into the Clinton Foundation, but you don't put two and two together? That it might have affected President Obama in some way? Or that President Obama didn't know that James Comey was investigating Trump using a dossier that said that Trump enjoyed bodily fluids? What about Madam Secretary? Where's the dossier that says Bill enjoys bodily fluids on him? Oh, that's right. They would never use one purchased by Trump, but they used one purchased by Clinton. So we can go on forever. The greatest deception, the greatest manipulation of truth, the greatest, you could just look at, it's all coming from the left, but you can look at Joe Biden's campaign. He's not number one. He's not the front runner. The front runner is in the poll just recently. Clinton's I've been saying she's the front runner since 2017. I've called this out since 2017. Anyway, check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second. Thank you so much. And so, basically, I guess, really quick summary here is that they can't understand memes, and they can't understand this hilarious Thanos ad, because they're the establishment, and they're trying to, at every moment of every day, they're trying to teach and pontificate and lecture, but nobody wants to listen to them. Nobody wants to listen to them. So anyway, give me your thoughts below. Thank you so very much.